This isn't about fame, fortune, or following. This is a calling. This is desire. This is obsession. This is what it takes to win. The search for more speed, focus, control. This is more than a game. This is esports.
As a fighting game community member, working with Razer has been such a great experience. We were working on Arcade 6 for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controller that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there is a need for that in the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. A fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad, and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Ryan.
To make the ultimate gaming mouse, it needs speed and stability. It needs to be precise and instinctive. It needs to be light but strong. It needs to be reliable and swift. It needs to last. It needs to be ready. It needs a name.
This isn't about pride, ego, or popularity. This is grit. This is determination. To win. The search for more speed, focus, control. This is more than a game. This is esports.
As a fighting game community member, working with Razer has been such a great experience. We were working on arcade sticks for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controllers that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there is a need for that within the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. A fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad, and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Ryan.
To make the ultimate gaming mouse, it needs speed and stability. It needs to be precise and instinctive. It needs to be light but strong. It needs to be reliable and swift. It needs to last. It needs to be ready. It needs a name.
This isn't about pride, ego, or popularity. This is grit. This is determination. This is passion. This is what it takes to win. The search for more control, more focus, more speed. This is more than a game. This is esports.
In our pursuit of wireless performance that's as fast and stable as any wired mice, we've created a solution that blurs the lines between them. Introducing Razer Hyperspeed Wireless, our fastest wireless technology, designed for the highest levels of competitive gaming. Hyperspeed is 25% faster than any other wireless technology out there. And we've achieved this speed because of two things: data protocol optimization and an ultra-fast radio frequency, working together to produce the fastest on-air transmission speeds. What's more, this process draws less power from your mouse, so you can game for longer periods. But all this speed can't reach its full potential if there's noise and interference. And having your wireless mouse stutter and lag makes any game unplayable. For consistent peak performance, Razer Hyperspeed uses our new improved adaptive frequency technology, which scans available channels every millisecond to find the fastest frequency to take. This is crucial in helping you maintain a smooth connection in noisy, data-saturated environments like esports tournaments, where many devices compete on the same frequencies. With all these features working together, they produce a speed and stability unmatched by other wireless technology. And with the lowest click latency around, it delivers a performance trusted by top esports athletes. Experience the next generation of wireless gaming. Make the jump to Razer Hyperspeed Wireless.
When it comes to gaming, quick thinking and fast decisions can make or break you. Reaction is measured in fractions of a second. We've now designed the fastest mouse switch in gaming so you can secure victory with the speed of light. Traditional mouse switches actuate a click via physical contact to send electrical signals to your computer. Because of the way mechanical switches are designed, it creates a bouncing effect momentarily after you click your mouse. Imagine extending a flexible ruler out the side of a table and then giving it a slap. This bouncing effect can result in sending multiple signals, which can cause unintended clicks. To ensure that only a single click is detected, a debounce software is used to block out additional signals within a set period. This is known as debounce delay. The downside of debounce delay is that it results in slower response time. The solution is the Razer Optical Mouse Switch. When you click on the mouse, the switch shutter opens and the infrared light beam passes through, sending a signal to your computer in an instant. No physical contact is needed to send electrical signals, so there's no bouncing effect and no need for debounce delay. The result? Instant actuation and a response time of up to 0.2 milliseconds. This is 3 times faster than traditional mechanical switches. The great thing about not using physical contact to transmit electrical signals is that it also reduces wear and tear. We've tested its lifespan, and this goes up to a whopping 70 million clicks. This is one of the highest anyone's ever achieved with a mouse switch. What we've created is the perfect combination of performance and durability. We're setting a new benchmark in gaming mice technology, arming you with actuation at the speed of light. The Razer Optical Mouse Switch.
We first started with mechanical switches for gaming keyboards, and we popularized it through the entire gaming industry. Today, we've taken that a step further. We're now designing our own mechanical switches. We started with the green, to the orange, to the yellow, and now the opto-mechanical switch.
The Razer Opto-Mechanical Switch is unlike your traditional mechanical switch. When a key is pressed, a light beam passes through the switch to instantly send a signal to your computer. With the new optomechanical switch, we were able to align the actuation point and the clicky feel, so the signal is sent the instant you feel the tactile click. All this happens incredibly fast, and with an actuation distance of just 1.5 millimeters, 30% faster than any other clicky mechanical switch. You get the fastest possible response time ever in a clicky switch. The use of optical actuation also means there's zero debounce delay, so the second you hit a key, you see the action happen on your computer. And with no physical contact needed to actuate a command, your keyboard is durable for up to 100 million keystrokes, 2 times more than competing switches. This is truly the next evolution of switches.
We want to make sure that we're always addressing the needs of esports athletes, of gamers, and of the community, and to make sure that we're always innovating.
Esports has grown over the past couple of years to multi-million-dollar tournaments. It's the primary form of entertainment for the youth and millennials. When we first caught wind of the SEA Games, we realized that it was missing a major component and what we felt should be esports. We flew across to Philippines. We met up with Senator Cayetano and the rest of FISDOC, and the rest is history. Esports, for the first time ever, is a medal sport in a major sporting event.
This is the first time esports is going to be included in the SEA Games. It's a huge thing. Like, we've been waiting for this for quite a long time, actually.
It really shows how far esports has come. It's crazy to be on par with conventional sports.
I think esports today, this past year has been a turning point for the industry, and we're very proud to be part of this. The future of esports, I would say limitless and exciting. I'm just really passionate. I think there's a huge future in this, and we want to be part of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are making history. To be the first medal esports event in the world is a great promise.
Right now, we are having our the Southeast Asian Game Esport Test event. We did this so that we can conduct a simulation of what will happen on the actual SEA Games. So we're testing out everything in terms of the internet, the infrastructure, the league ops, the PCs, the networking, and also the streaming that will be used in the actual SEA Games.
Everyone's here to make sure that we have a really, really good presentation of esports come the Southeast Asian Games in December. Now, that's very important for esports because when we show them how successful we are in organizing this, we believe there will be more acceptance of esports, which would mean that even parents would understand that, hey, maybe there's a future, there's something after. We want a lot of young people to have brighter and bolder dreams. It's a new world, and who knows what comes next.
If any game deserves to be an esports title, it's got to be StarCraft 2. It's strategically speaking very in-depth. There's a lot of strategies, a lot of things you can do. Some people call it like a chess game on steroids. The StarCraft 2 community is quite compact, so you kind of know everyone. The other top 2 players are usually from the Philippines and Vietnam, so they've been always consistently doing well in the other tournaments as well. I'm going to just do the same thing I've always done to prepare for tournaments, study a lot, practice a lot, and then just hope for the best.
So yun, finish ko yung pagiging Dota 2. Lahat ginawa ko para maging professional player. Siguro yung Dota kasi sa akin, sobrang importante kasi sa akin yun. Kung ako, sasabihin ko sa sarili ko na yung Dota is para siyang pagkain sa akin. Kumbaga, pag wala yung Dota, hindi ko mabubuhay yung sarili ko.
Jika kita dapat memenangkan turnamen ini, kita tentunya akan mendapatkan perhatian lebih dari tim-tim tier 1 Dota di dunia. Dan ini sangatlah bagus untuk karir-karir kita, player-player Dota Indonesia.
When I started playing was Taken 3 and I was like 7 years old back then. 18 years later, fast forward, it's actually selected as one of the games for SEA Games. I never thought that I would be given this opportunity to play in front of thousands and thousands of people.
The bootcamp really helped me get ready for the Southeast Asian Games 2019 because we had JDCR, which is one of the best second players in the world to train with us.
I was able to play with JDCR earlier. He told me a lot of tips and tricks and some things that I should not do. I'll take it as a lesson from him because he's obviously one of the best second players in the world.
I got a chance, opportunity to teach maybe youth generation, young players. They got improved a lot. I'm happy to see that.
KO.
I think we're going to see some pretty exciting gameplay, and I'm looking forward to a really high level of competition.
There's a misconception of people thinking that esports is just playing games. It's actually not that simple. There's actually a lot of hard work to it. You have to grind hours, you have to practice over and over again. You have to spend a lot of time.
I feel nervous because I have never traveled overseas for a gaming tournament before. So this will be challenging, but also will be a good experience for me. I will practice really hard for this and I want to perform and win the whole tournament.
Siguro sa tingin ko sa sarili ko, confident naman ako pero hindi pa rin sapat yun na kailangan ko pahigitan yung mga ibang player na katulad ko. Nilipad kami ng Singapore para lang mag-training sa i-coach din ng mga international na player.
These guys are the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Lewis Hamiltons, if you were, of the esports world.
I still can't believe I get to actually see them in person.
We are making history because we're bringing all 5 different teams to really spar and be trained.
Pretty rigorous. It's pretty intensive.
An event like this is something really quite special. These guys are the elite, when it comes to esports.
I've been a big fan of Eurogenesis since 5 years ago, and I was absolutely delighted that they managed to make it to this year's internationals. They're one of the top 5 teams in the world. I'm pretty excited for them to be in Singapore.
We've been queuing here for a couple of hours already. I'm really excited to meet them. I just want to come now and just take a look at their face in real life.
EG, love you!
These guys are the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Lewis Hamiltons, if you were, of the esports world.
Eurogenesis is one of the top-tier teams in the world, and they made millions of dollars.
I think 16 years old and already earned $1 million when it comes to playing games is absolutely astonishing.
The Southeast Asian fans are definitely different than the others. There are actually just a lot more people that play Dota here.
Being a pro gamer, it's probably one of the more harder jobs, to be honest. It's gonna be a hard road, and you have to be mentally ready for that.
It's a very humbling experience, having so many fans, even from another region, come and cheer for us, which is super nice.
I still can't believe I get to actually see them in person. This is everything for me as a Dota fan.
Southeast Asia's best Dota 2 players have all come together to be put through their paces by the evil geniuses.
We are making history because we're bringing all 5 different teams to come to one single location to really spar and be trained.
Siguro, sobrang dami namin matututunan kasi next level na rin kasi yung team nila. Kaya siguro, malaking tulong sa amin mga player na maturuan din nila.
We had 2 games with Thailand. First game was pretty one-sided, but I think by the time we had the second game, it was actually a pretty close game. We're actually winning, but we're lacking some stuff here and there, so they actually won the second game too. So it was a 2-0.
And that's the thing about Dota, being proactive, always make them react. Never react yourself.
We have Bulba giving all his knowledge, give a lot of impact for us because we don't have that tier 1 knowledge about it, so I think it's very helpful.
We get experience, like the first-hand experience from like a top team, sharing information with us, giving us tips, coaching us, whatever that we don't really know yet.
Event ini sangatlah disiplin, karena disiplin itu sangatlah penting bagi atlet, terutama e-sport, supaya kita itu lebih fokus dalam pertandingan.
What people don't understand is how much discipline, how much practice we put into it. I used to live in Australia, and when I realized that I wanted to go pro for Dota, I quit my job and pretty much left my life behind in Australia. I had an amazing girlfriend, I had an amazing friend, I had many amazing friends. I was a very lucky man in Australia. But when I close my eyes and when I picture myself, walking on the main stage of TI, when I just picture myself hearing the crowds cheering, for Dota 2, for me, it just made me feel so alive, and I just want to get there.
Siguro yung doon yung hirap na pinagdaanan ko, yung una sa lahat yung mawalay ka sa pamilya mo nung bata ka pa lang. Kasi 12 years old ako nung umalis ako sa bahay. Kaya sobrang laking hirap nun kasi una sa lahat, hindi ko alam kung saan ako titira, saan ako kukuha ng kakainin ko. Kaya yung mga kaibigan ko naman, sinama naman ako. Tapos may nanggampon din sa akin, tapos sagot lahat. Tapos ayun din yung nagpapalaro sa akin. Sagot niya lahat ng needs ko sa pagkain, sa pagdodota.
I'm just watching from their fog, clicking random heroes, looking at items, clicking what they should be doing, or thinking about what's happening as well, like what I see. The early game was pretty bad. The other team snowballed the game. I mean, it needs a lot. The other team just has better laners.
And this bootcamp scenario we have here is actually very different. Step by step, you have to do everything right, and it's pretty rigorous. It's pretty intensive.
They'll have to be prepared to take criticism, but when it's coming from someone who's been there, seen it all and done it all, then if you can't take that sort of criticism and learn from it, then perhaps you should be doing something else.
Yung pagko-coach ni Bulba sa amin is okay naman, sobrang legit. Legit yung mga tinuro niya sa amin, yung mga sinabi niya, mga sobrang small details pero ang laking tulong as a player tsaka sa team.
Sobrang importante yung mga nasabi niya about sa game.
Kita mendapatkan ilmu-ilmu baru dari cara bermainnya EG, terutama di laning stage. Terbukti pada saat kita scrim lawan Thailand, kita coba strateginya dan it works.
For our team, I think we are looking forward to playing Team Thailand. During the boot camp, they were the ones that are more outstanding. By the time of the second game, we actually got pretty close to winning them. So actually, I would like to have a rematch with them pretty soon.
The SEA Games will be intense, it will be some severe competition, and medals are up for grabs. Now it actually means something for these guys, and the experiences they've had here can only serve them well when we get to the SEA Games.
Sa hindi inaasahan pagtatapon ng mga...
Pada event ini kita mendapatkan beberapa pengalaman yang lucu dan unik. Having fun dengan teman-teman dari Filipina karena kita somehow bisa nyanyiin lagu Filipina.
to see someone who loves our song. It was so fun.
I like to be a Pinoy.
บางครั้งมันก็ดีที่ได้ออกมาเล่นข้างนอก ได้พักจากการเล่นเกม แล้วก็ได้เล่นกับ
ถ้าพูดถึงบูตแคมป์ที่มาประสบการณ์ในครั้งนี้ก็คือรู้สึกว่ามันได้มีการประสบการณ์ให้กับน้องๆนะครับในทีมชาติไทยได้เข้ามาที่บูตแคมป์ของเรเซอร์แต่ในซีเกมเขาก็อาจจะเป็นคู่แข่งกันแต่ท้ายสุดก็มีเรื่องของเฟรนด์ชิพเรื่องของการเป็นเพื่อนเข้ามา ก็ดีมากครับที่เขาได้เล่นบาสเกตบอลด้วยกัน
With SEA Games, it becomes a whole new different thing. You know, you put yourself on the line, you put your team's pride, and obviously your country's honor on the line.
I'm not even there yet, but I'm already having goosebumps.
Kind of like what Bruce Lee says, you practice the same kick 1,000 times rather than doing 1,000 kicks one time. So that's my kind of practice regime.
Esports coming to the SEA Games means it's more moving into the mainstream now.
We wanted to go deep. We want to go deep into the community because there are a lot of hidden talent.
It's also an honor to be at this boot camp. Also, I got a chance, opportunity to teach maybe new generation, young players. I'm really happy to be here.
The boot camp really helped me as a player to get ready for the Southeast Asian Games 2019 because we had JDCR, which is one of the best second players in the world, to train with us. I'm really grateful and appreciate the effort from Team Laser to bring JDCR to Philippines.
Terima kasih untuk Razer dan juga Sinitel untuk karena dari mereka dapat terjadi acara ini sekarang ini untuk bootcamp ini, dan terima kasih untuk EG khususnya untuk Bulba karena dengan adanya Bulba kita dapat mendapatkan coaching yang sangat baik yang dimana itu untuk SEA Games nanti, dan kita sangat bersemangat, sangat excited untuk nanti ya untuk SEA Games pada tahun ini.
As a fighting game community member, working with Razer has been such a great experience. We were working on arcade sticks for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controllers that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there's a need for that into the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. A fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad, and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Ryan.
Vietnam. Team Vietnam.
And right now they're actually introducing the players, so let's throw it back.
Yeah, let's throw it back to the venue.
And we also have the Philippines. Mobile Legends Bang Bang is a 5-on-5 mobile multiplayer online battle arena game developed and published by Moonton. Now, players, as a sign of good sportsmanship, you may now shake hands. Thank you, Vietnam and Philippines. You may now proceed to your respective booths as we end the day with another match of Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
All right.
Right now, just seeing Philippines and Vietnam fighting for tournament life.
Here we go.
It's do or die for these two teams. And Manjin, the Team Philippines here, Sibol, they are actually going to try and defend the land.
Yeah, they will indeed defend the land, and whoever wins this will go up against Team Malaysia in the lower bracket finals. In the lower bracket finals. And man, Team Vietnam is no joke of a team. Of course, they went in 8th place in the recent Mobile Legends World Tournament last month, and again, these guys are so good. But meanwhile, you have Team Indonesia in the grand finals right now, which is, well, probably expected for this tournament. And of course, they showed their strengths.
I wouldn't really say expected. Expected is just, just you're actually concluding stuff. But I think in a way, let's say that they're at the top 3.
At the top 3.
Let's say that they're the top 3.
Yeah.
And right now we have Philippines, we have Villa, Bataanon, Castro Mayor, Ribo, and Arcangel.
And then of course, Team Philippines fell short yesterday against Team Indonesia and Team Thailand. They were tied with the points. That's why they are in the lower bracket. Meanwhile, so as Team Vietnam. But just to tell you this, Butters, Team Vietnam, they were the ones eliminated by another Philippine team who was in M1. So is this a threat for their team?
Then again, that certain lineup that defeated them are not
this one.
Are not this one. This team.
Yes.
So right now, this is the perfect setup for Vietnam to get the revenge.
It's time.
In a way, they are in their homeland. Not
Yes.
Sibol. They really need to defend this because this is going to be in a way the revenge match for the side of Vietnam.
It is, and they are looking hungry right now. I can see it in their faces. I can see it in their auras right now in the screen. And of course, we did witness the Turbo Masha plays. We did witness the Basha Anon plays coming in from Bataanon yesterday. The gangster mode, the Taguro mode of Bataanon. Can we witness it later? I don't know. I want to see it again, Mr. Butters.
And they have to bring their A game, Manjin. Right now, as we've said, they're fighting for their tournament life.
It's
if
time.
you really want to advance to this tournament, you really need to give up everything. Because right now, you don't have enough space. You don't have enough time to experiment.
Yes.
You don't have enough room to make mistakes.
Definitely. And of course, Philippines, they failed with their Selena picks last time, so I don't think they're gonna pick this. They're respecting the Ling pick, which we saw earlier for Team Indonesia. But meanwhile, Team Vietnam, they do have their own niche type of gameplay. They do pull off the Granger. But again, the meta right now is the split. So I don't know if we're gonna see it again or probably the team fight comp, the sustained type of gameplay that Philippines is having.
Yeah, but right now, I feel that Philippines has a bit of an advantage right now because the thing about this meta is you don't really know where the utility meta is going.
Okay.
'Cause sometimes it's going to be a tank and a support, and sometimes it is the double tank setup.
Yeah.
But I just feel that there is a bit of emphasis on how the double tank setup is winning. They're getting the better win percentage as compared to the tank support setup.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things that Philippines can just work on. And I just feel that we really have a good grasp in the two tank setup.
Yeah. In terms of also in terms of stats, right? In terms of the history between both of these teams, Team Vietnam lost against a double marksman setup coming in from another Philippine team. So I'm guessing that we're gonna kind of get a glimpse of that again. The Kimi Granger penetration.
Yeah,
right.
They can actually just go for that. And as we all know, Vietnam and Philippines are not really that different in terms of playstyle.
Definitely.
They really want to go for the aggressive. And right now, Philippines and Vietnam, who will get the Granger? And as you can see on the venue, a lot of pictures are being taken.
Of course, this is historic. This is the lower bracket finals. Who will go home who will go back to the airport and who will have to train again for tomorrow. Because we're going to have our ML finals
Sunday.
This Sunday, right?
Yes, Sunday.
This Sunday.
So this is the lower bracket finals as to avoid the airport.
To avoid the airport.
To avoid the airport. You need to avoid the airport right now. And for Vietnam, because if Philippines lose, they don't have to go to the airport.
Yes.
They just have to take something.
So this is probably the bronze match,
Yes,
right?
probably.
This is the bronze match. Just to update you guys, the Philippines right now in terms of esports, we've already secured our silver medal with Caviar
on the
StarCraft game.
Yes,
right? Ender, and we lost with Hearthstone, but shout out to our Hearthstone players. Thank you so much for representing our country. And of course, to the other countries as well who won their respective titles.
Actually, to just come here to the Philippines and just represent your country, it's a big thing already.
It's a big thing, yes.
At least they didn't back out.
Definitely.
They were never afraid to represent their own country.
Show up. When the time comes,
yes.
right?
You show up, you practice, you sacrifice. That is what an athlete is.
Represent.
You need to represent, y'all.
Hashtag represent, yo.
Represent.
Hashtag represent. Just like hashtag walking sturdy. Walking sturdy.
And now,
but that is the direct translation. That is the slogan of the Philippines team. But again, each country has their own slogan. So we respect you guys. For the people there in Vietnam, I am requesting them to now raise their hands. Because again, this is really looking 50-50 right now in terms of matchup.
Yes. And right now, yes, Vietnam isn't at their home court, and that's the advantage of the Philippines. But right now, I think that Vietnamese people should just stand up and show their support.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that they should do, because right now, Vietnam is on the verge of actually making it to the next round of this tournament. So there is a 50-50 chance for these two teams, and I really hope the best for them. I hope we make it to a game number 3.
I really hope so. I want to see a lot of ML action. I want to see a lot of bloodbath as well. And of course, to the people there in San Juan Arena right now, they do hope to see more ML. And man, I'm just so happy right now because again we're making history and we're seeing the top teams like, for example, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia proving that they deserve their slot in the last tournament and just showing up here again.
Yeah, and this is how esports has evolved.
Yeah.
Right? Remember just playing at a net cafe?
Yes.
Or grabbing your phone, just playing with your friends. Who knew that we could actually make it at this stage?
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest stages in the whole Earth. So
in the whole Earth,
the
right?
Whole Earth, yeah, because universe, I don't really know about the universe.
Who would have known? Who would have known? Finally, after 3 decades, man.
3 decades.
After 3 decades. This is it. This is the picks and bans for our game number 1. So I do suggest that for the people watching there in their homes, please do get dinner and probably get your coffees or probably your popcorns, because we are gonna have a show. Vietnam will ban out the Kaja, and of course Team Philippines, they will respect the X-Boy.
Philippines, they're known to go for the early pick-off composition, and especially with Nepomuceno to the middle lane. They will be playing a very aggressive composition into their lineup. But right now, for Vietnam, they're just picking out those heroes that Philippines can actually just snowball on, and Philippines just banning out the punish heroes that Vietnam could pick.
Yeah, I like the respect coming in from Vietnam. They are respecting Nepomuceno's Esmeralda. Every time he uses that Esmeralda, I do feel that it's probably GG when this guy uses it. But again, that is a very good opening coming in from Team Vietnam. The Harriet has been there, has been always there.
Yes.
In Mobile Legends ever since
the world began.
Ever since the world began.
And right now, as we are seeing Philippines here, they are going to pick the Balmond.
No, not yet. They
just highlighted it.
They just highlighted the Balmond.
Okay. Kuvra will be the next probable pick, and they will go for the Granger.
Okay.
As we all know, Arcangel, it's one of his best picks.
It's his best picks. He will go out with a bang right here for game number 1. Meanwhile, Vietnam hovering in the Masha, who is very viable right now in the meta, getting paired up with other core heroes who can do split push, or probably with a composition that can pull off a 4-to-1 strategy.
The only problem for Vietnam right now, Manjin, is it's going to be hard for them to actually hide their strategy. Because when you pick a Masha, you always pertain or you always point towards the split push.
Definitely. That's why they went for the Grok and they went for the Harriet. The Scrack and Harriet will just go for the early game juggle invade and will hope for this Masha to get herself going in the lane and probably confuse Philippines. But
Baksha,
here we go once.
Anon.
Baksha Anon is here. So we have the Arcangel Granger and the Baksha Anon.
Yes.
And the Baksha. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they have the Turbo Masha on their side. They can probably pick a Claude right now, or probably a Kimmy to match up with this fast pace of gameplay. But in terms of team fights, you have the Kufra and the Dead Sonata for the side of Team Philippines.
I actually agree with you on that. If Vietnam picks the Kimmy, they have a better chance at winning the early game. Now, for the side of the Philippines, I'm not really saying that they're going to have a hard time with the Kimmy. It's just they don't really have a counter now. And if they're going to pick a Lolita, they don't really have that space since Baksha and Kufra were picked at the 3rd and 2nd slots.
But if you're going to think about it, Butters, whenever the Baksha comes in with the Shield Force Unity after the stun, the Kufra can just easily reach out heroes with the Tyrant's Revenge. So in terms of team fights from afar, Philippines clearly has the upper hand. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they want to remove all of the sustain. Like, for example, yesterday, you have the Tams for the side of Philippines, so they are respecting the Stamps and Esmeralda composition with the Baksha.
I was actually thinking that it was going to be the Chang'o for the side of the Philippines, because we have this trend that when you pick the Granger alongside the Chang'o, it is going to be it's going to be a very easy matchup. But they go for the Lunox. They don't really have that setup in which they can serve the Lunox skills in a silver platter.
Yes.
But the thought is still there, because the Grok won't really be a bully if there's a Lunox on the map.
Definitely, they will remove that. But again, I do feel the Team Philippines, they want to go for the aggressive type of gameplay with the true damage coming in from the Lunox and of course the Dead Sonata criticals. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they hovered in the Valier there, but they opted to go for the safe play Akai to counter out this type of team fight game style that Philippines do want. But again, we're seeing the Cho hover here.
Okay. Cho?
Is this a Cho or is this a Leomord?
I actually prefer the Leomord here as to not put any pressure onto the Cho, because the Cho will actually go 1v1 in the Masha.
Yeah.
And whoever gets the better early game, he will be controlling the split push of the game. And right now, they're just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
They just say, Kenji, Vilya, just go with that.
Vilya, do your Cho.
Do your Cho.
Do your Cho, Vilya. Actually, this Cho will go for the high and dry and go, like what you've said, go 1v1 with the Masha. After the Way of the Dragon, he will just leave him be. Of course, if you are dealing with a Masha composition, for your team to get her, to get him, to get that player, you need crowd controls. And what better crowd control there is, you have, is the Way of the Dragon with this Cho, right?
So you have a lot of pick-off potential here for the side of the Philippines, but Vietnam, they are more well-rounded in terms of the team fights. They have the late-game insurance with a Claude.
Yes.
So I think both of the teams got what they wanted, and I would really side in terms of draft here on the more well-rounded composition. But right now, let us head on to the Land of Dawn. This is Vietnam versus the Philippines. Game number 1, best of 3.
All troops deploy, says the girl announcer of the game. That is, of course, the Harriet in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Team Philippines will confuse them out. That is, of course, Castro Mayor going for a classic support here with Nepomuceno in the mid lane. So both of the teams going in safe in the first parts of our game.
Okay, but look at this. Castro Mayor just trying to zone them out. Nguyen here onto the top lane, Damasha.
Yeah.
He is going to be the one who's going to try and contest the farm here of Arcangel.
Speaking of contest, that is a contest here being done by Team Philippines for the first statue shocker of our game. Meanwhile, Vietnam will secure their own core guard here, plus the Crammer for Mr. Pam BT. That is, of course, Villa with a signature Cho. Having a high and dry emblem, like what you've said, they need to control Nguyen Smasha here.
And Bataanan here, harassing Nguyen for a bit. The Masha right now is just trying to get away, but look at that, 3 in a row. It will hit that Masha.
It will hit that Masha, and plus they will go for that extra crab coin in the bottom lane. Dean, he wants to go for the score guard here, but Anon guarding his own core guard.
Holding the line.
Arcangel is here, lurking. That is the first Salmon Force of our game. But Anon falling low. Who will get the core guard? Core guard is still alive, but Anon will fall. Then with a good first blood right here, plus securing his buff, plus getting this Crammer. So that is an immediate lead coming in from the core of Vietnam. But meanwhile, Philippines will have their own value exchange. They will give Nepomuceno this early lead in the bottom lane as well.
Nepomuceno really known to put the pressure onto the map. And as we all know that he really likes playing aggressively. As the Villa right now is just going to try and be passive. And the only problem right now for the side of the Philippines is they're not in the position to actually contest this turtle. They only have two, but look at that, Arcangel with the 3-pointer.
With a 3-pointer, Arcangel for a 3, like what you've said. Of course, 1,000 pounder out for this Akai. Arcangel with a flicker in, and one more bullet to the face. That is the Harriet down, 3-1 in favor of Team Philippines.
And gunshots being thrown left and right here. Arcangel just throwing everything onto the map. And Arcangel, wow.
Arcangel, man. Arcangel, it means archangel in English.
But
he has the angel on his side, man.
But he's not from Archangel.
Yes, of course, there's a team. There's his team. And the problem right there for Team Vietnam is they don't have any focus fire on who to target in getting that turtle take. So they were kind of confused. Are they going to fight or are they going to get that turtle?
Okay. As we are seeing into the map, the Nguyen connection. The Nguyen connection isn't really going for this team. And look at that, Order Brilliance to stop the Pam from actually setting up perfectly. And look at Nepomuceno with a sticker.
With a sticker, the swag plays. The Filipino swag, but Pam is just buying his time. That is, of course, the first kick of the game. Nguyen for it, 1 will fall down. Arcangel just throwing in all the bullets right there. But again, there's going to be another skirmish here. The jungle side. Tyrant's Rage won't do anything. Team Vietnam, they're running for their lives. Then will pop up another first kill. But Team Philippines will secure the next core guard of this game.
Whatever well-rounded draft Vietnam throws at the Philippines, it seems to me that Arcangel is really playing out of his mind right now, and he's just throwing those Death Sonatas, those Rhapsodies, at the perfect positions. So it's really stopping Vietnam from taking a fight.
Yes, this is Arcangel in beast mode right now, Mr. Butters. 4 minutes in our game. We are now going to the mid game. That is, of course, the turtle in the top lane. Team Philippines, they don't have any setup here. So as Team Vietnam, they're just buying time for a Pam and of course Nguyen MH to do the split mechanic, to do the split push technique, Mr. Butters.
Nguyen connection. Castro Mayor, Alan Jr. getting caught out. Bouncing ball is here. Nguyen and the Nguyen and the other Nguyen.
Yeah, the Nguyen connection is not paying off right now. Here we go. Spinaruni is coming in for the side of Team Vietnam, but Arcangel, you won't die here. Mr. Akai just refuses to die as well. Meanwhile, Bataanan is just soaking up all of the damage. Arcangel will fall down because of this smash of flank. Bataanan taking in more damage here. Here comes the shots coming in from the Claude. Bataanan, they see me rolling. They hate it.
Okay.
All right.
Bataanan trying to paint the floor red, but at the same time, he wasn't really in the position to secure the kill, so he just went back.
Yeah, he just went back. He just went for the jeepney moves, man.
just went for the escape.
The escape.
And
The escape.
The thing about the Philippines, the Team Philippines right now, they are really just trying to, stall the game for a bit. And Vietnam, they're trying to force out the fights because they know in the early parts or the later parts of the game, they will have a certain disadvantage against Arcangel because Arcangel had a good early game.
Definitely. And of course, they lack the damage right now. That was a good pin down of the Hurricane Dance and an astonishing blazing duet to follow it up. But again, the damage second. Look at Bataanon! Taguro mode! Bataanon is here!
Wow, and just staying there, Arcangel there with the Death Zone Nata, and that is going to be a lot of skills getting thrown out here.
No.
He is the next target, and Din will go down. And look at this, holding the line.
Bataanon is not even holding his phone. That's how good he is, man. Taguro mode. Bataanon.
Bataanon, wow, just staying there, just holding the line, hugging everyone. Bataanon here, what is he doing?
What is he doing? Just like in Yu Yu Hakusho. Just like in the animes, Taguro mode, ladies and gentlemen.
He got that hit and run.
That's hit and run.
Hit and run. Run. Once someone hits you, you run because you might go down.
You might go down. You might fall down. 2-6 is our score. 7 minutes into the game. Team Philippines, they are controlling the tempo. Dean, he wants that power spike, but he's not yet there. This is the third turtle of their game. This is Arcangel and Nepomucenu's game right now. But again, Bataanon. Man, this Basha. I was mistaken yesterday. I said that the Philippines doesn't know how to play the Basha, but man, Bataanon proved me wrong, man.
Okay, Nguyen here. Well, we do know how to play the Basha. It's just that we're not really picking it in the situations
Definitely.
that are, that takes advantage.
Yes, but Bataanon is just uncanny right now, man. Just like what Takuro said, even if you guys gather me up, you cannot finish me.
And the thing about SEA Games is, what do we have as a motto?
What?
Sama-sama SEA Games, and that means together at SEA Games.
Together forever.
And as Bataanon says,
what?
Gather everyone.
Gather everyone. I can take you all. Vietnam, they're falling right now. This is the Vietnam defense that we're seeing here. But look at Bataanon. Walking with swag once again.
That's the swag walk.
The swag walk.
That is literally the swag walk. And Philippines right now just raining on their parade. Vietnam here just really trying their best to defend this. They will take out the minions, but how long can they hold?
How long can they hold the line? But look at Bataanon.
He knows that nobody can take him down right now. That's why he's so confident.
He can actually stand there and make coffee and then just play again, right?
Yeah, and probably wait for his laundry.
Wait for his laundry, or probably
you can do a lot of stuff when you're not doing anything, and that's what Bataanon is showing us. Multitasking.
That's multitasking. That's multitasking. If it's allowed, he can go for the outside and he can even status out in Facebook. He can even post on Twitter. He can go for the tweets right now. That's how confident Bataanon is in this game. Meanwhile, Team Vietnam, they need an answer. They need to deal with this Basha pick. Man, this is just looking hard for their team. They need an outplay.
And look at the discipline between the two teams. The Team Vietnam here knowing that they cannot fight right now, so they don't go out of their base. But right now, they actually find the perfect setup. But Nguyen here on the Masha, he can't really get the kill on Villia because Villia really has items.
Yes, man, Villia. It's not about Bataanon, of course. It's about the control coming in for the whole team of Team Philippines. The Cho pick off the Lunox damage, the Granger crits, man. So, what is the key right now for Vietnam?
The key for Vietnam right now is to try and get a turret.
Right?
Look at the turrets here for the side of the Philippines. They're unscathed.
Oh my.
Vietnam
Oh my.
haven't touched
Yes.
any of the turrets here on the side of the Philippines.
Plus they lack the damage. Here we go. That is the Hurricane. That's what Arcangel with his swag flicker. But the Anon is here with the rollout. Here comes Villa dashing in, dashing out. He wants to get Nguyen part 1. But Nguyen will just walk away. Team Philippines, they're waiting for the Lord. They want a set of Vilya as well.
Okay.
Vilya as well. Hey.
Vilya, okay.
But the Anon is not the only gangster here, man.
Okay, so right now, Castro Mayor going in. Alan Jr. being the Alan he is. Okay, they're actually fighting right now.
They're fighting right now. That is the Lord inside the base. Arcangel will go for the detonata. That is, of course, the Hurricane Dance. Who will he pin? Here comes another ultimate coming in from the Claude. But man, Team Philippines, they're cleaning the house. They're going ham, and they want to end this. Team Vietnam, no damage whatsoever. Nguyen is trying his best, but the bullets, it's just too harsh. Team Philippines with an outstanding and dominant performance for game number 1.
Philippines, they were shaky at the earlier parts of the tournament, but right now they found their footing. And I just feel that since this is the lower bracket finals, they don't really want to give out like any chance to the other team, so they're probably throwing out all their strategies right now to get their tournament life and to defend the land.
I don't know, man. Team Vietnam, they respected the Esmeralda, the Tams, but they did not respect the Basha Anon, man.
I mean,
they did not respect the Basha Anon. If we're gonna look into the highlights right now, clutch bullets coming in from Arcangel to probably secure an early game advantage, but I do feel it's about the early game rotations here for the side of Team Philippines.
You have to give a lot of props for Team Philippines here on that certain highlight, because it's what started their snowball. And looking at Arcangel on how he sniped every single hero here for the side of Vietnam, it really gave them the advantage that they needed to win against Team Vietnam.
Definitely, man. Team Vietnam. It's actually quite hard to pull off this Masha type of gameplay. Again, we've talked about this time and time again. If you there are certain compositions, like for example the Masha and the Claude, where you really need to get going for the first 2 minutes of the game to give this Masha an early space, or probably buy time for the Claude as well. But with Team Philippines, the tankiness from Basha Anon, for Bataanon and Castro Mayor, really paid off in the early game, negating all of these spells coming in from the Harriet, and then turning it into a win.
And I didn't actually notice earlier that there was this one fight, it was shown earlier in the highlights, that the Harriet almost got a kill on the Granger, but the main problem was when he went out of the Salmon Force, the Blade of Despair was bought by the Granger, and that was enough damage to actually just burst him down at that point. So that was, let's say, kind of a bit of unfortunate for the side of Vietnam, because if Arcangel didn't really get his Blade of Despair, that could have stopped the Granger from going to the snowball.
Yes, I do agree with you, but man, this is, again, the first pick. That's how confident Philippines is in coming in to this game, picking the Granger first, so they do trust Arcangel with the damage, man.
I guess in a way you could say that, you did say earlier that Vietnam plays one mean Granger as well.
Yes.
So I just feel that it's going to be the highly contested pick here for this certain series.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, let's see, game number 2, what will happen.
Let's see game number 2, what will happen. Again, guys, we are your shoutcasters, Manjin and Butters. Don't touch your screens. Don't change the channel. The Philippines 2019 30th SEA Games will be right back.
As a fighting game community member, working with Razor has been such a great experience. We were working on arcade sticks for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controllers that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there is a need for that into the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. A fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad, and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Ryan.
To make the ultimate gaming mouse, it needs speed and stability. It needs to be precise and instinctive. It needs to be light but strong. It needs to be reliable and swift. It needs to last. It needs to be ready. It needs a name.
It's also an honor to be at this boot camp. Also, I got a chance, opportunity to teach maybe new generation, young players. I'm really happy to be here.
The boot camp really helped me as a player to get ready for the Southeast Asian Games 2019 because we had JDCR, which is one of the best Tekken players in the world, to train with us. I'm really grateful and appreciate the effort from Team Razer to bring JDCR to Philippines.
My name is Robert Boone. I'm the captain of Esports SG, and I go by the IGN of Odia Bambi. I was sacrificing my studies for esports because competitions unfortunately fell during my exam period, so I wasn't able to study as much, and because of that my grades did take some damage. I always wanted to be in competition. I want to try out, and see how I would perform in the competition. And if you're gonna ask me a year ago if I ever thought I would represent Singapore in anything, the answer would be no. And then here I am today, being selected and given a chance to represent Singapore in SEA Games. I think it's a wonderful honor, and I look forward to it. I'm just afraid that I don't do up to the expectations and I let the country down, you know. But of course, I know I'm going to work hard and make sure my team trains hard and we perform well.
Hi, ako nga pala si Carlito Ribo Jr. Ang IGN ko, Ribo. Player ako ng Team C-Ball for Mobile Legends Bangbang. Before ako maging pro player sa Mobile Legends, dati akong karerista ng motor. Nung nakita akong mga tropa ko na naglalaro ng Mobile Legends, parang nagdalawang isip ako na pag-quit ako sa drag racing. Tapos tinry ko yung maging Mobile Legends naman. Tapos naging okay naman. Tapos nung nakakuha ako ng team, doon na, nag-quit na ako sa lahat ng ginagawa ko nung dati. Gagawa kami ng mga strategy, kami gagawa ng meta dito sa Pilipinas para ilaban namin sa buong Asia. Gagawin namin lahat para lang makuha namin yung gold medals para sa Pilipinas.
I'm Angelo Aylar Kangel, IGNQ, Team Captain of C-Ball Mobile Legends Bangbang. Before ako maging pro player, college student ako sa RTU. Madalas lang ako naglalaro ng kung ano-anong games kasi yun talaga hilig ko. Nung nagsimula ako maging pro player, hindi pa masyadong supportive yung parents ko kasi syempre lahat naman ng parents gusto nag-aaral yung anak nila. Pero ngayon national team na sobrang proud na nila sa akin. Nung napili ako sa SEA Games bilang representative ng Philippines, na-excite ako kasi ito yung unang medal event sa Esports. Para sa mga player na bago lang dyan, ang ma-advise ko lang is huwag kayo mawala ng tiwala lagi sa kampi nyo. Huwag nyo silang sisisihin lagi kasi bumababa yung confidence nila. Disiplina lang talaga kailangan.
Nama gue Christian Antonius, nickname gue Krypton. Gue kuliah di Venus University. Jurusan gue teknik industri. Harus punya skill dan mental yang kuat. Kalau secara tim harus punya chemistry dan juga kepercayaan terhadap tim tersebut.
The Mobile Legends Bang Bang discipline.
This is, of course, the lower bracket finals. Team Philippines clearly cleaning house for game number 1.
Yeah. And always remember, not all finals are actually grand.
Yes,
there
of
is
course.
the lower bracket final.
Definitely.
But we will head on to the draft right now.
Yes.
And this is going to be Philippines getting 1 point over Vietnam. And
So,
they are at match point.
Yes. So I have to ask you, with you telling me that, is this the last game for Vietnam? Again, if you're playing your match point, if you're playing your probably your last game, your play style will be different, right?
Yes.
You're gonna go for all of the safe plays in the map. So Team Philippines, they have this up for the taking. I do feel that they can do some kind of experiments here.
But you know, Manjin, we do have a saying that fortune favors the bold.
The bold.
So if Vietnam is bold,
yes,
that means that they're bold. Okay.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Seriously speaking, Vietnam, if they are bold, they can just go for the experiment and take a risk. Right now, you're at match point.
Yeah.
You can take it in a way where you play as the comfortable strategies that you actually came up with, and you can just go and surprise Philippines here and live to play another game.
I get you, Butters.
I get you too.
I get you, Butters. You mean that for Team Vietnam, they need to have their destiny draw right now. They need to believe in the heart of the cards and probably play this with all of their souls and all of their hearts. Probably pick their favorite heroes right now and just don't think about anything. So there you go, there you have it. They're going to pick another Harriet.
Okay, and they just went like, okay, let's just put it all on the line.
Put it all on the line.
On the line and just throw them our Vietnam energy and just try. beat the Filipino energy.
Throw your hands in the air
Throw your hands in
and
the
wave
air.
it like it just don't care. We're kidding. We're kidding. Oh, again! Once again!
They just go for it, and they're really happy right now.
They're really happy right now. So, Butters, last time, Philippines lost with game number 1. Bataano did not use this Basha.
Yes.
But in game number 2, as of right now, he is definitely rolling. No pun intended, rolling with this Basha. Plus, they do have the Kufra for extra sustain and Esmeralda for extra sustain as well. So whenever the Basha comes in with the rollout, you have the Falling Star Moon and the Tyrant's Revenge follow up. Meanwhile, for Team Vietnam, what is the counter for these types of heroes who is very tanky? You need through damage coming in from the light wheel mark of this carry.
Yeah, and carry is one of those marksmen that can actually just fight into the early game. He could go for a duel if she really wants to.
Yes.
And Vietnam here, they are actually playing their cards right, but I'm actually worried for their Harith, because if you think about it, Arcangel right now and Nepomuceno, they actually picked the 2 heroes that can actually just shut down a Harith.
Yes.
Falling Star Moon for the Esmeralda and the Bouncing Ball for the Kufra. And I think that Harith doesn't have control whether he can enter or get out of his Zaman Force.
That is the reason why they picked the Hylos right now, to give this Harith extra mobility, extra disengage, with the Glorious Pathway layered up with the Zaman Force. So they do know this. They know this. They did notice that Team Philippines will go again for another type of, how should I describe this? Gangster mode type of lineup. Aggressive type of lineup. But like this one, like 4 melee heroes, and just go for the extra long range damage of this Death Sonata in the backline. Meanwhile, Team Vietnam, they went for this late game insurance. They have the carry in their arsenal, so I do trust this carry. This is my best pick actually. But again, for this carry answers the Kufra, the Basha, and the Esmeralda.
Okay, Vietnam here, not really going for that Leo Mord. That Leo Mord could have been very risky, but if you get the early game, you can actually snowball from there, especially when you have the carry on your side.
And to add to that, Butters, to add to that, the Leo Mord can go 50-50 against the Granger.
Yes.
Whenever he catches it with, he catches him with that Phantom Steed, right? Whenever he goes for the flank, the Granger cannot position himself very well.
It's either you choose to go to the front line and face the Leomord straight up, or you just wait for the right timing and just wait for the Leomord to lose the Phantom Steed buff.
Or still, we don't know.
We don't know.
This is Arcangel's Granger, by the way, so he's proven us wrong time and time again. Here we go. We are now entering the screen. This is the Celestial Palace for probably the last game of the night. Will Vietnam force a game 3? Again, they're playing it safe. Their lives are on the line right now.
Okay, so tournament life, Vietnam, they need to protect it. And right now, we do have Philippines on the blue side.
On the blue side.
On the red side.
This is what you call the change court.
The change court.
The change court.
Because you have to go to halftime.
Yes, because we did went to halftime.
Halftime.
Yeah.
But the difference is, when you win 2 quarters, you win already.
Definitely.
You don't go to the third
You don't go to the third quarter. Especially in ML.
Especially
in ML, man. Especially in esports.
Yes.
Especially in esports. Okay, so right now, both of the teams securing both of their statute shockers and giving it to their mid lane cores, which is the Esmeralda and the Harriet, which is, by the way, 2 heroes who rely so much on this early game buffs.
Nguyen here, he is just facing off against this.
He's facing off the Basha.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at Batanon. He's not phased about whatever Nguyen MH is doing.
Yeah, he is unfazed. He knows his capabilities. It's because of this Basha passive, man. It decreases your damage, your last damage every time. Is actually the best counter for a Granger pick, but more about that later, because Team Vietnam, they are now securing their first grab coin of the game, giving it to Dean. So Dean is having a great time in terms of early game. They want this they want this 2-minute push right now, but they will just disengage in the bottom side.
They're actually wasting a lot of time here to the bottom lane, Vietnam. They are planning to just give up this turtle, but Philippines doesn't really pick up on that, and they do not try to go for that easy turtle. But right now, Vietnam is setting themselves up to secure that turtle, or probably to contest.
Yeah, they want to contest it. Of course, two of the cores are now at level 5. Castro Mayor is on level 2. Din in a very good position here, just needs to dodge out the falling Star Moon and just go for the instant chrono dashes. Meanwhile, Pam not really looking well here in the bottom side.
And this is one hero that Bataanon can't do what he did into game number 1. Just stay in front of him, because as you all know, true damage is one of the veins of Abaxia.
Definitely, true damage is true right now. Of course, that is the first stun hitting Nguyen number 1. Nguyen number 2 is going toe-to-toe with Nepomuceno. Nepomuceno is just going for the Stardust Dance poke. 3 minutes in, no kills yet. Arcangel is farming in the top lane. So as the carry, so as Pam. Meanwhile, that is, of course, the first time and force of the game. Dean will just disengage. That is wasted ultimates for the side of Team Vietnam.
And Nguyen, not really Nguyen, but Nepomuceno, not only for bowling, but for esports
but for esports as well.
Not only for bowling.
Alright, there you go. The second round of objectives has spawned, and both of the core heroes again getting it. So no actions yet in this game. They're not settling down for getting this turtle right now, Mr. Butters. Both of these teams, they're buying time for their cores to get online.
Granger on the back lines, and they will actually take out the Granger. Vietnam here having a good start. Bataanon getting caught out. The wild charge will catch too. Bataanon, and look at this. They're just tagging up everything but the two cores. Oh my goodness. Rock will go down, and that was a 2v1 exchange.
But that is a great advantage coming in from Vietnam. It secured this turtle. Let's see what Bataanon can do. Din is astonishing right now on this Harriet, unlike game number 1. Probably looking great. He can go toe-to-toe with the Cho as well, and probably with the Granger go in for the flanks. You have this glorious pathway, and of course the Revitalize to save his life. He is at almost 4,000 health points here, plus getting this turtle burn. He can actually go for another gank right now.
And Vietnam finding the right stuff to actually take down Arcangel. Earlier, they didn't really have a way to catch Arcangel on his Granger, but right now with the glorious pathway by Nguyen HT, they can just go to the back line.
Hold that thought. Nepomuceno, he needs to move here. Pam! He will stomp Pam into the ground as Nepomuceno will pick him off. 2-2. Nice counter goal coming in from Philippines. So probably even up this economy in the first 5 minutes of our game.
Nepomuceno here just being the mid laner that Philippines need right now. He is trying to set up the tempo for his team Manjin.
Yeah, this is the wonder kid. But again, you have this stamps. Nguyen, the very a good sustained hero here for Team Vietnam to keep up with the sturdiness of the side of Team Philippines. Team Vietnam, they're holding the line. They have their ultimates right now. They have the Glorious Battery. They have the Zaman Force. What is going to be the play, Mr. Butters?
Fam here just trying to hug out Arcangel. Arcangel here with the shots. Fam, he is just gonna get out, and he got you, Fam.
He got you, Pam. Okay, so Nguyen HT is here, just zoning out Team Philippines, but did the Granger got the Jammer?
Wow.
Okay, so they're stealing objectives right now. They got the Jammer and they got the Statue Shocker for the side of Philippines, and that will give them a 1,000 gold lead for the first 6 minutes of our game.
And Arcangel here might get sandwiched, but he will be using that Tsunade to get away.
Okay. And he did.
Bataanon,
going for another rollout. Oh no, he is trapped. Is he tanky here? He will pop that ultimate. That is, of course, a Saman force to the glorious pathway. But the Anon, he refuses to die. And look at Team Philippines, they're sandwiching. Team Vietnam, Arcangel will go for the Rhapsody. But man, there's no damage. All of these heroes are now in half health. And so much for the hype. Both of them will just disengage. But as I say this, Nepomuceno will pick up one.
You scream, you shout, you let it all out, but one person dies on the side of Vietnam. Well, Vilya, onto the bottom lane, he is just, onto the middle lane rather, he is just trying to annoy Vietnam right now and just give the Philippines the space that they need to just farm.
But speaking of space, Butters, again, Fam BT, doesn't have any deaths yet. Again, he is the main answer for this type of lineup that Philippines do have. Man, 3-2 is the score. Nepomuceno, he's moving right now. That's the girls' pathway. Disengage coming in from Nguyen. Nice Grok block from the Grok from Fam's Grok to negate the potential outrun of Team Philippines.
But remember, Manjin, there is no answer if there is no question.
Definitely.
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 And always remember that. If they cannot give a question, there is no answer.
There is no answer to the question. I did not understand that, Butters, but the game goes on. 3-2-2, 8 minutes in. Okay, Pam?
Pam, got you, Pam.
I got you, Pam. Pam in connection here in the bottom lane. They're respecting this carry, man.
But Nepomuceno, the bowling boy.
The bowling boy, the Wonder Kid, killing spree.
Oh, Tyrant's revenge. Nepomuceno here. Will actually go down.
That's so deep.
Right now, the bouncing ball is there.
That's so deep.
And right now, the battle of the power forwards.
The battle of the power forwards.
The power forwards.
Who is the better sustained boy? Who is the better sustained? Who has the better sustained? I mean, but man, Arcangel with the bullets. Plus the flicker, normal hit. Okay, the swag play coming in from Arcangel, man.
Arcangel being the shooting forward.
Being the shooting forward.
Expected to perform day in, day out.
Day in, day out, having 60% field goals with this Death Sonata. But as I say this, that's it, of course, an exchange, a value trade coming in from Vietnam, getting the first tower in the mid lane. So they opened up a lot of space here for them to dive in.
And looking at this match right now, we are 9 minutes into the game currently. There is only 8 deaths on the board.
Yeah.
So this game has a really low kill count.
Yeah, this is just both of the teams playing it safe, of course, but the Anon will not go for that very aggressive standing up type of playstyle due to the true damage of this carry. Of course, Pam having that Electro Flash as his emblem, he can actually get out layered in with the glorious pathway. So man, Team Vietnam, they do have this. Arcangel is just proving them wrong with this Death Sonatas, man.
And I just noticed that Baksha is really just a bigger slaughter site of Tams. If you would look at
you look at animation.
If you look at animation, it's a bigger slaughter site.
Plus it can go toe to toe with the Basha if you're gonna think about it, especially with the Tams lifesteal here. If he had the Bloodlust Axe, but right now there's going to be another answer for the side of Vietnam. That is Arcangel falling down in the hands of Nguyen. Nice outplay from Team Vietnam.
Philippines overestimating themselves a bit there, actually letting Arcangel go to the front line. The glorious pathway was set, and if ever Arcangel could have went for the flicker, that's the time when Nguyen would just put the glorious pathway for the Harriet to chase after the Granger. But at the same time, you wouldn't really do that if you are kind of being careful for the side of the Philippines.
And speaking of being careful, Vietnam is indeed being careful here. Careful here. Nguyen now having the Queen's Wings on his items, so...
Which Nguyen?
Nguyen MH. Nguyen Part 2. The Tams.
Okay.
The Tams. So, they do have a lot of counter sustain in terms of team fights right now, Mr. Butters.
Okay, so Glorious Pathway will be set. That was a bit skewed. But right now, Death Sonata will be thrown out. Wave of the Dragon is there.
That is, of course, another Way of the Dragon. Here comes Arcangel with the free hits. Nice knock up coming in for the side of Philippines. But man, the carry with the Phantom Stab. Phoenix. Phantom stepping in, Phantom stepping out, proccing in the true damage. Villa will just go to the bottom lane and will confuse Team Vietnam. Vietnam still forcing another team fight. Din popping another Zaman Force. Arcangel, he is falling
Oh
low.
my goodness.
That is the flicker out. Nguyen threatening him with another glorious pathway. This is Vietnam's game for the taking. 5-5. That is dominance ice for the Hylos to add more sustain, to add more tankiness. Meanwhile, Pam will answer in with his own split push in the top lane.
Right now, Vietnam, they got a hold of the lead. Even if Philippines has a better goal advantage to their side, they just lost control of the game.
Yeah.
And right now, Villa is actually doubting his teammates because the thing about it is he could just go for the push.
Yes.
If he really wants to. But he was trying to, just go for the backup.
Yeah. Definitely. And besides that, Butters, Team Philippines, 4 of them are melees. And the carry, if you're playing this very well, if you position yourself very well, especially if you got your first skill going, you can just go for the kite and Phantom Step all of these melee heroes and just burn all of their life points to dust, right?
Yes. And one of the things that we have to see here is Arcangel didn't really get a good game.
Yes.
A good early game. Because when you see it, right now, it's 12 minutes into the game, but you only deal 547 damage of crit to a Grok. That doesn't spell well, or that doesn't go well for the side of Team Philippines
But
right
let's
now.
see, man, nice dodge from this Harriet to counter, go to Falling Star Moon. The camera is looking at Bam. Harry right now, here we go. But can he do that? It's where the bouncing ball, the drop will fall down. Arcangel with another detonata, but that is mega kill coming in from the Harriet. Plus that double kill, the Nepomuceno still at full health. But man, Vietnam is holding the line. Their tower is still alive in the mid lane. They played with the counter sustain and it is paying off. 6, 7, 40 minutes in our game right now.
Arcangel really needs that endless battle on his Ranger right now. The only reason why they're not winning the fights is because they don't really have the damage. Nepomuceno, they are forced to get out, but then on the other side of the map.
But look at Bam, he's chasing the Esmeralda. But of course, another monster kill from Din. And this is them setting up this Lord.
To see the hunter be hunted right now. Vietnam, they're getting their revenge, but bombs will go down the hands of the Nepomuceno.
Okay.
This prodigy is just carrying the team on his back.
The child wonder, Nepomuceno here. Probably the X factor for Team Philippines to get back. But man, Team Philippines with a counter Lord on their own. Pam right here stalking them.
Oh, Arcangel.
The Pam connection.
And Arcangel really just trying to go front, but Harriet will go down. And this is the right time for the Philippines to fight. Glorious pathway to get away. And Vietnam, they just lost control of this Lord take.
And this is just the Filipino experience here. Coming in from Philippines with these types of games, you just need pick-offs, right? And whenever you pick off, you immediately go for an important objective, which is the Lord. And man, Team Philippines, such clutch pickups there, eliminating the sustained heroes coming in from Vietnam. But as I say this, there's going to be another clash here at the Statue Chonker side. Nepomuceno lurking, going in for the Falling Star Moon, hitting tree.
Oh my goodness.
He will hit Pam, but Pam will just phantom step out.
Nepomuceno!
To the core! Nepomuceno, such clutch here. No wonder Kid was Arcangel with the free hits of the detonata from the side. The Harriet is now alive. Vietnam is still holding on. But Nepomuceno, there's no stopping him. He is at the unstoppable strength. Nepomuceno's game is here right now. 11-8. Man, Vietnam, they're falling low the wall. Team Philippines destroying the wall of Vietnam.
Filipinos are rallying. Vietnam will lose their tournament life. The Philippines will advance to the next round of the tournament.
And that is bronze secured.
And the crowd goes wild.
And the crowd goes wild.
Defend the land, Manjin. What a performance coming out from Nepomuceno there.
Yes, the Child Wonder showed up for game number 2.
My
and
goodness.
Man, clutch, man. Clutch pickups was the key for Team Philippines to win that fight. They clearly don't win team fights like 5-on-5 5-on-5 skirmishes due to the counter sustain of the TAMs, of the shields, and the glorious pathway of the Harriet and the Hylos. Plus the carry, he has the damage for Vietnam to rely on. But again, with the Dead Sonata pokes and of course the experience of Team Philippines in playing this type of games, they clearly had the advantage and just went all in, just finishing the game.
It's all about the experience right now. Game highlights will be shown, but the thing about that game was it wasn't really a showing that Team Philippines, game number 1 was showing that if you fight the Team Philippines at a certain extent that they have the control over the game, they will just toy around with it.
Yes.
But for game number 2, it was a showing on what Team Philippines can do.
Yes.
When you put them at a bad spot. And Nepomuceno, he is the player of the game. For game number 2, what a showing. He carried his team on his back.
Definitely carried his team with all of these pickoffs, man. This is just a predicament for Team Vietnam. They're clearly winning this one, but again, no one in their side was split pushing. They need 5 people in terms of fighting toe-to-toe. Meanwhile, Team Philippines, if you're gonna look at it very well, will after a certain pickoff, will immediately go to the side lane and will just confuse out Team Vietnam where to go. Meanwhile, due to this one, Team Philippines, after 2 crucial pickoffs from Nepomuceno and Arcangel, they clearly had the advantage and just got the game.
Just looking at this, on how they rallied this certain sequence of fights, they just won the game from taking down the Harith, and with Nepomuceno just leading the charge. He was so aggressive, he was so confident on his killing prowess that he just went in with the Falling Star Moon, even using the flicker to chase down that carry, and that play won them the game. Vietnam here showing us a good fight, but it wasn't enough, and congratulations Vietnam for coming here. You did your best.
Thank you, Vietnam.
Thank you,
Vietnam. What a game right there, and thank you for showing up. So we have our final 3 countries for the Mobile Legends Esports Southeast Asian Games. We have Indonesia waiting for their grand finals match, and we have Malaysia versus Philippines for the lower bracket finals.
And
right?
For
the silver,
it's a 2-5
for the silver gold medal.
Oh yeah, and whoever loses that match will get the bronze.
Yes.
And whoever gets into the grand finals will be secured with the silver medal.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that they both get a silver medal. Whoever wins, whoever loses, you get the drill.
Yeah, you get the drill. So, man, what a day it is, Butters. Congratulations to Team Philippines for securing the 3rd place.
And they will still
they will still walk sturdy. That is it for us. Shout outs to all of the people who are watching. Thank you so much for you guys, and of course to all of the countries participating in the Southeast Asian Games. And again, that is it for us, guys. This is the Manjin and Butters connection coming inside your screen. We shall see each other when? May.
No,
December.
not May.
December 9.
Southeast Asian
Oh
Games
no,
is
December
up
8.
Until December only.
Yeah.
December 8, Sunday. We will see you guys on Sunday.
We will see you guys on Sunday for the lower bracket finals. Again, Team Philippines versus Malaysia and the grand finals. That is it for us. See you guys next time.
Have a great night.
This isn't about fame, fortune, or following. This is a calling. This is desire. This is obsession. This is what it takes to win. The search for more speed, focus, control. This is more than a game. This is Esports.
As a fighting game community member, working with Razer has been such a great experience. We were working on arcade sticks for the longest time. We had the Aatrox, we had the Panthera, and then the Panthera Evo. But there was a segment of a controllers that we really didn't have, and that was the fighting game pad. The fight pad essentially is something that I think has a lot of potential, especially for newer fighting games. And seeing that there's a need for that into the market, I think Razer has finally stepped up and kind of met that demand. Fight pad really gets the best of both worlds. In this particular product, you have the classic arcade style layout with the 6 buttons. You also have the tactile responsive D-pad and just so much more and so much more care that goes above and beyond what you would have from your standard controller. And I think that's the beauty of the Ryan.
To make the ultimate gaming mouse, it needs speed and stability. It needs to be precise and instinctive. It needs to be light but strong. It needs to be reliable and swift. It needs to last. It needs to be ready. It needs a name. this isn't about pride, ego, or popularity. This is grit. This is determination. This is passion. This is what it takes to win. The search for more control, more focus, more speed. This is more than a game. This is esports.
In our pursuit of wireless performance that's as fast and stable as any wired mice, we've created a solution that blurs the lines between them. Introducing Razer Hyperspeed Wireless, our fastest wireless technology, designed for the highest levels of competitive gaming. Hyperspeed is 25% faster than any other wireless technology out there. And we've achieved this speed because of two things: data protocol optimization and an ultra-fast radio frequency, working together to produce the fastest on-air transmission speeds. What's more, this process draws less power from your mouse, so you can game for longer periods. But all this speed can't reach its full potential if there's noise and interference. And having your wireless mouse stutter and lag makes any game unplayable. For consistent peak performance, Razer Hyperspeed uses our new improved adaptive frequency technology, which scans available channels every millisecond to find the fastest frequency to take. This is crucial in helping you maintain a smooth connection in noisy, data-saturated environments like esports tournaments, where many devices compete on the same frequencies. With all these features working together, they produce a speed and stability unmatched by other wireless technology. And with the lowest click latency around, it delivers a performance trusted by top esports athletes. Experience the next generation of wireless gaming. Make the jump to Razer Hyperspeed Wireless.
When it comes to gaming, quick thinking and fast decisions can make or break you. Reaction is measured in fractions of a second. We've now designed the fastest mouse switch in gaming, so you can secure victory with the speed of light. Traditional mouse switches actuate a click via physical contact to send electrical signals to your computer. Because of the way mechanical switches are designed, it creates a bouncing effect momentarily after you click your mouse. Imagine extending a flexible ruler out the side of a table and then giving it a slap. This bouncing effect can result in sending multiple signals, which can cause unintended clicks. To ensure that only a single click is detected, a debounce software is used to block out additional signals within a set period. This is known as debounce delay. The downside of debounce delay is that it results in slower response time. The solution is the Razer optical mouse switch. When you click on the mouse, the switch shutter opens and the infrared light beam passes through, sending a signal to your computer in an instant. No physical contact is needed to send electrical signals, so there's no bouncing effect and no need for debounce delay. The result? Instant actuation and a response time of up to 0.2 milliseconds. This is 3 times faster than traditional mechanical switches. The great thing about not using physical contact to transmit electrical signals is that it also reduces wear and tear. We've tested its lifespan, and this goes up to a whopping 70 million clicks. This is one of the highest anyone's ever achieved with a mouse switch. What we've created is the perfect combination of performance and durability. We're setting a new benchmark in gaming mice technology, arming you with actuation at the speed of light. The Razer Optical Mouse Switch.
We first started with mechanical switches for gaming keyboards, and we popularized it through the entire gaming industry. Today, we've taken that a step further. We're now designing our own mechanical switches. We started with the green, to the orange, to the yellow, and now the opto-mechanical switch.
The Razer Opto-Mechanical Switch is unlike your traditional mechanical switch. When a key is pressed, a light beam passes through the switch to instantly send a signal to your computer. With the new optomechanical switch, we were able to align the actuation point and the clicky feel, so the signal is sent the instant you feel the tactile click. All this happens incredibly fast, and with an actuation distance of just 1.5 millimeters, 30% faster than any other clicky mechanical switch. You get the fastest possible response time ever in a clicky switch. The use of optical actuation also means there's zero debounce delay, so the second you hit a key, you see the action happen on your computer. And with no physical contact needed to actuate a command, your keyboard is durable for up to 100 million keystrokes, 2 times more than competing switches. This is truly the next evolution of switches.
We want to make sure that we're always addressing the needs of esports athletes, of gamers, and of the community, and to make sure that we're always innovating.
Esports has grown over the past couple of years to multi-million-dollar tournaments. It's the primary form of entertainment for the youth and millennials. When we first caught wind of the SEA Games, we realized that it was missing a major component and what we felt should be esports. We flew across to Philippines. We met up with Senator Cayetano and the rest of FISOC, and the rest is history. Esports, for the first time ever, is a medal sport in a major sporting event.
This is the first time esports is going to be included in the SEA Games. It's a huge thing. Like, we've been waiting for this for quite a long time, actually.
It really shows how far esports has come. It's crazy to be on par with conventional sports.
I think esports today, I mean, this past year has been a turning point for the industry, and we're very proud to be part of this. The future of esports, I would say limitless and exciting. I'm just really passionate. I think there's a huge future in this, and we want to be part of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are making history. To be the first medal esports event in the world is a great promise.
Right now, we are having our the Southeast Asian Game Esport Test event. We did this so that we can conduct a simulation of what will happen on the actual SEA Games. So we're testing out everything in terms of the internet, the infrastructure, the league ops, the PCs, the networking, and also the streaming that will be used in the actual SEA Games.
Everyone's here to make sure that we have a really, really good presentation of esports come the Southeast Asian Games in December. Now, that's very important for esports because when we show them how successful we are in organizing this, we believe there will be more acceptance of esports, which would mean that even parents would understand that, hey, maybe there's a future, there's something after. We want a lot of young people to have brighter and bolder dreams. I mean, it's a new world, and who knows what comes next.
If any game deserves to be an esports title, it's got to be StarCraft 2. It's strategically speaking very in-depth. There's a lot of strategies, a lot of things you can do. Some people call it like a chess game on steroids. The StarCraft 2 community is quite compact, so you kind of know everyone. The other top 2 players are usually from the Philippines and Vietnam, so they've been always consistently doing well in the other tournaments as well. I'm going to just do the same thing I've always done to prepare for tournaments, study a lot, practice a lot, and then just hope for the best.
So yun, finish ko yung pagiging Dota 2. Lahat ginawa ko para maging professional player. Siguro yung Dota kasi sa akin, sobrang importante kasi sa akin yun. Kung ako, sasabihin ko sa sarili ko na yung Dota is para siyang pagkain sa akin. Kumbaga, pag wala yung Dota, hindi ko mabubuhay yung sarili ko.
Jika kita dapat memenangkan turnamen ini, kita tentunya akan mendapatkan perhatian lebih dari tim-tim tier 1 Dota di dunia. Dan ini sangatlah bagus untuk karir-karir kita, player-player Dota Indonesia.
When I started playing was Taken 3 and I was like 7 years old back then. 18 years later, fast forward, it's actually selected as one of the games for SEA Games. I never thought that I would be given this opportunity to play in front of thousands and thousands of people.
The bootcamp really helped me get ready for the Southeast Asian Games 2019 because we had JDCR, which is one of the best second players in the world to train with us.
I was able to play with JDCR earlier. He told me a lot of tips and tricks and some things that I should not do. I'll take it as a lesson from him because he's obviously one of the best second players in the world.
I got a opportunity to teach maybe new generation, young players. They got improved a lot. I'm happy to see that.
KO.
I think we're going to see some pretty exciting gameplay, and I'm looking forward to a really high level of competition.
There's a misconception of people thinking that esports is just playing games. It's actually not that simple. There's actually a lot of hard work to it. You have to grind hours, you have to practice over and over again. You have to spend a lot of time.
I feel nervous because I have never traveled overseas for a gaming tournament before. So this will be challenging, but also will be a good experience for me. I will practice really hard for this, and I want to perform and win the whole tournament.
Siguro sa tingin ko sa sarili ko, confident naman ako, pero hindi pa rin sapat yun na kailangan ko pahigitan yung mga ibang player na katulad ko. Nilipad kami ng Singapore para lang mag-training sa i-coach din ng mga international na player.
These guys are the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Lewis Hamiltons, if you were, of the esports world.
I still can't believe I get to actually see them in person.
We are making history because we're bringing all 5 different teams to really spar and be trained.
Pretty rigorous. It's pretty intensive.
An event like this is something really quite special.